So here's the big question, the one that kind of whispers through the pines on a dark night. Is Bigfoot real? Or is it just a story we tell ourselves around a campfire? A shadow that dances just at the edge of our vision? For generations, this question has totally captivated adventurers, scientists, armchair explorers. It represents one of the last great mysteries of the uncharted world. We've mapped the globe, we've even been to the bottom of the ocean, but there are still pockets of wilderness so vast and so dense that you have to wonder what could be hiding out there, just beyond our reach. The idea of a giant undiscovered primate roaming North America is pretty thrilling. It challenges our understanding of the natural world. The creature goes by many names: Sasquatch, the wild man of the woods skunk ape. People describe a massive bipedal hominid, 7 to 10 feet tall, covered in thick matted hair, dark brown or reddish, an ape-like face, low brow, deep-set eyes. Believers see Bigfoot as a shy, intelligent species that avoids human contact. When we talk about Bigfoot, we have to talk about the stories. These are the accounts that have fueled the legend for decades. One of the earliest and most influential modern accounts comes from a man named Albert Ostman. In 1924, Ostman, a prospector in British Columbia, claimed he was abducted by a family of Sasquatch. He said he was held captive for 6 days, observing the creature's family dynamics before he managed to escape. He described a large male, a female, and 2 younger ones. His story was incredibly detailed, but he kept it to himself for over 30 years in fear of ridicule. Whether you believe him or not, his tale set a precedent for what a Bigfoot encounter could be. Another foundational story comes from a group of miners at Ape Canyon on Mount St. Helens in Washington, also in 1924. The miners claimed their cabin was attacked one night by multiple ape men. They said giant rocks were hurled at their cabin and they fired their rifles into the darkness at the shadowy figures outside. The terrifying siege supposedly lasted all night. The next day, they found huge human-like footprints all around the cabin. This event was so significant that the area was named Ape Canyon. Of course, no discussion of Bigfoot sightings is complete without mentioning the most famous piece of evidence ever captured, the Patterson-Gimlin film of 1967. Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin were riding on horseback through Bluff Creek, California. So, if Bigfoot is out there, where exactly is it hiding? The primary hotspot, the epicenter of Sasquatch activity, is undoubtedly the Pacific Northwest. So, if Bigfoot is out there, where exactly is it hiding? Washington, Oregon, Northern California, British Columbia. The vast temperate rainforests of those places are the perfect habitat for a large reclusive creature. Ancient trees, deep valleys, rugged mountainous terrain. This region offers everything a large primate would need to survive. Abundant food sources, berries, plants, small animals, plenty of fresh water, countless caves and thickets for shelter. It's a wilderness that can easily swallow a secret. But the sightings aren't confined to just one corner of the continent. Florida, Louisiana, Arkansas. The skunk ape is described as slightly smaller and known for a terrible smell. When you're on an expedition, you're always looking for evidence. In the hunt for Bigfoot, the most common piece of physical evidence is the footprint. We're talking about massive tracks, sometimes up to 24 inches long and 8 inches wide, pressed deep into mud or snow. The sheer number of these casts is staggering. Believers point to the anatomical detail in some of the best casts, which show signs of a flexible human-like foot with a unique mid-tarsal break, something not found in humans. They argue that faking such detailed tracks consistently across decades would be nearly impossible. Then of course there's the photographic and video evidence. The Patterson-Gimlin film is king, but it's not alone. Most are blurry, shaky, and ultimately inconclusive, what we affectionately call blob squatches. There are hair samples that have undergone DNA analysis. Most of the time these samples come back as known animals, bear. So why, in our modern scientific world, does the legend of Bigfoot not only survive but thrive? Bigfoot represents the wild. Bigfoot represents the unknown. In a world that feels fully explored and explained, Bigfoot is a reminder that there are still mysteries left to solve. The idea that a giant, undiscovered primate could be living just beyond the streetlights is incredibly compelling. It taps into our collective sense of wonder. Searching for Bigfoot is more than just searching for an animal. It's a quest for enchantment. A way to believe that the world is still a magical and surprising place. The debate itself is a huge part of the appeal. You have the passionate believers. They collect evidence. They share stories with a tight-knit community. They are citizen scientists, driven by curiosity. The legend also endures because it's adaptable. It has evolved from ancient indigenous stories of wild men into a modern pop culture icon. Bigfoot is everywhere, in movies, on t-shirts, as the mascot for businesses. In the end, maybe it doesn't matter if we ever find definitive proof of Bigfoot. The search itself is what's important.